This conference will now be recorded.
So let us consider one requirement. That is like I'm having a rule. So here this is currently given with 7 terms and conditions. Consider a rule. And now there are 2 parallel projects running on. So developer 1 has to be working on this rule for so and so release for this week. And developer 2, he has to also work on the same thing, and that has to be released in the next week maybe. So one cannot wait for another, right? So I cannot ask other person to wait till my development is complete. So one cannot wait for another. So just to have for parallel processing, we cannot able to proceed with one single version. If it is in version number 2 now, if first developer is taking this, second person has to wait, on vice versa. So to avoid this kind of waiting, we are trying to create this with multiple versions. I'll create version number 3 for so and so for developer 1 and version number 4 for the next developer accordingly. So if that is the case, what PRPC's behavior, suppose if I'm creating third version and some other developer for fourth version. So I'm adding my changes. And if I'm just saving this and if I'm refreshing and running that case, will I be seeing my screens or not? Will I be seeing my changes or not? So during this process, this rule has to be picked up, right? So this rule got how many versions? 4. So by default, it has to pick up the highest one only, no? So I'm making my changes in version 3, and there is another version called 4. Then how my changes will be picked up? Version 1, 2, 3 will be ignored, right? Only version 4 will be picked up. Then what is the point of parallel development? And in this case, there will be weekly releases or daily release or hot fixes or monthly release. So these kind of things. So one changes should not impact other. So parallel processing should happen, parallel development should happen. In that case, different versions only. And that too, this will not help out all the time for us. Just in this case, if I'm trying to make my changes in 3 version and during execution, if I'm running flow, if fourth one is the highest, that will be picked up for the processing. No point of following this approach. So if this is the case, parallel processing generally cannot be possible. So that is the reason we are supposed to go for something called branch development. So branch rule sets is what we are talking about. So generally there will be 3 types of rule sets or 4 types. First one is related to operator, and second one is related to our application related rule sets, third one related to our production, and fourth one is something called branch rule sets. Generally, what is a branch? Where it is trying to divert from the regular development, regular path. So I am having one regular path with this version number 2. So 010102 is our normal rule. And now I wanted to make developer 1 to make some changes different, developer 2 with some other things. These two are two different ways, right? So that is the reason we are supposed to create branch rule sets. So if we create a branch, so I'll create 2 branch rule sets, one for this person and one for next release. 2 such branches will be created. I'll ask developer 1 to use that branch only and developer 2 to use this branch only. So parallel development can be possible with these branches. In that case, what you are supposed to do, if I click on definition, all the rule sets should be seen here. It might be our production rule set or our branch rules or normal regular rule sets or even branches also. So if you are a manager, you are supposed to create a branch for developer 1 and one more branch for developer 2. And suppose if today end of the day is what I have to move the fix, then I'll ask developer 1 to make all the changes in this particular branch, and then it's our duty to, or branches generally will not be executed in the production. So it's our duty to merge this branch. I have to get this branch to the regular path. Regular path, what is it? Normal rule sets. So I have to merge this. Technically, we call it like merge. So we have to merge this branch into so and so version. So I'll be creating third version now. I'll be merging branch 1 rules into this particular rule set and deploy. So and deploy. And by this time, developer 2, if he is trying to make any changes or if he is trying to execute the things from his end, so it will be picked up from the branches only. So parallel development is what it is happening. So branches will be executed to the top. This will be acting in the top of that hierarchy. So I'm creating a branch, and this I'm giving like maybe August release. August release submit. There should not be spaces. August release hotfix something else. So I'm creating a branch. Now I'll ask the developer to use this branch only. Suppose if you are the developer, this is the regular rule which is in so and so version. Now I ask you to add what's that, terms and conditions. So what you will do, you will be save as in this, save as, and here you are supposed to, maybe I did not save this, let me save this. I have just created a branch and saving it, nothing more than that. Now I wanted to save as this rule. Click on save as, and here you are supposed to get some extra option like saving this rule into branch. If there are no branches defined there, you will not get this drop down also. So you are supposed to create this in so and so branch. If I don't want to create it in the branch, select like no branch. Then it will be created in the normal version. And if you are trying to select this, versions will not be applicable. So I am trying to create one separate branch which is completely alone for my development. So if there is a version, then check-in checkout concept comes into picture, and what for again two developers struggling there. So this is to maintain like individual things. Fine. So now I am trying to select this in so and so branch. Now let me save this. Okay, now I can see this rule getting created under what place? Branch. So I can see this is the rule set and without having any version. So this is the branch I have used. Fine. Now I am adding 8th one as well. Okay, and I'm saving it. And if I check in, it will be impacting all the people who are connected for this branch. Let's see. Let us check in. Now 8th one is also added. Now if I just run the case, what I have to get? I have to make this rule picked up. Where it will be decided? It will be decided based on this operator rule set hierarchy. So we can see this getting picked up. Okay, so this is getting showing up here. This is the release what I wanted. So apart from this regular development, I am trying to maintain this just above this one. So this is the our normal rule set. On top of it, we are having this created. So branches will be given first priority rather than the regular rule set versions. So I have created this branch in this particular rule set, right? So within this rule set, I have version 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10. On top of this, this branch will be created. Now, if I run my case, I'll see the 8th one also, meaning branch related rule will be picked up. So execution will happen. Fine. Now, parallelly, developer 2 is working on this. So what he has to do, developer 2, he will be trying to open this original rule. He has to include September list terms and conditions. So in that process, he will not open the branch related rule and save as, because these are my own changes. This is still in progress. I can add or delete some other things extra. So all the time, if you wanted to save a rule, you are supposed to get the original one. So here, from here, we are supposed to create into September release for the second developer. Let me create one more branch for September release. September release fixes. Okay, fine. Let me save this. So we have got two branches created. Now I am trying to save as this one. This is the original rule. I am trying to save as this. Now as a developer 2, I wanted to make these changes for our September release. I am selecting this one and simply create and open. Now my rule will be there in September branch as well. I'll add all my changes. Okay, so I have saved as this. Now original rule has got 7 options, 7 things, and August release 8th one also. And this particular changes are with maybe 9, 10. He doesn't know about August release fixes, right? He doesn't know what main developer is doing. Suppose his requirement is to delete 3rd and 4th, let us consider. So he is saving it. And just to make these changes reflected properly, he will check in. So we are getting one warning if you see here. I'll talk about that. So you can see warning. There may be a merge conflict with this rule. It is being already used in August releases. What is that statement? Okay, fine. So anyway, we have created two branches. Main rule is created in branch 1 and same in branch 2. Developer 1 has included his changes on the main version. Developer 2 has included some other changes in the version number 2. I mean, like his branch 2. Now today, August release has to be deployed. August end is today, and I wanted to deploy August release. As a manager, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to push this branch into the regular rule set. So in production, branches will not be there. If you are having production access and if you are logging as a developer, if you click on profile, you will not see branch rule sets, only production rule set and regular application rule sets and operator ID. You will not find branches there. Branches is only for our development, parallel development. Now if this particular changes are to be pushed up, the 8th one meaning August release, if these changes are to be pushed up, what I have to do? We are supposed to merge it. Okay, merge to the regular path. So let me click on this one. So this is the August release things, right? So as a developer 1, you are supposed to create 20 or 30 rules into this branch only. And if we click on this, before merging, I can see all the rules what you have created. Okay, all these things we are seeing. After that, what I have to check for, what I have to do? I have to merge this branch into regular rule set and then delete this branch, because extra confusion for us. We'll delete this branch once not required. If required, again we can create it also, not a problem. So my changes related to branches is done and we are supposed to merge it. So here we will be having an option to merge the rule set, merge the branch. If we click on merge, then it will be asking us to enter the rule set version. Onto what version you want it to merge. So do you want to create version number 3, or do you want to merge to the existing version? This is what you will be getting. So generally we might be creating or we might be merging it. That's completely depending upon the manager's perspective. So I'll be selecting this one. Okay. And now if I click on merge, what should happen? So these changes are to be impacted into this version number 2, meaning this is our version number 2, right? So here, if I merge and refresh, I have to get the 8th one also. My original rule set has to be merged. My branch changes are to be merged here. That is what. And here, let us see. I'm just clicking on merge. It's taking a long time, even for one rule. We're having only one rule, right? Okay. So you should be getting this smiley symbol. Okay. If something went wrong, you'll not get this smiley. It will be like reverse way. Okay. Bad expression kind of. Okay. So once the things are deployed, your manager will be taking this screenshot and it will be putting, respect to Teams group or whatever the group is. So it is like all rules are merged, and don't proceed further with creating any rules in the branch, because this is already merged. If you wanted to make any changes, let me know, so that branch has to be again merged. So I should be getting some acknowledgement, right? So I simply merge this branch without your knowledge. And then if you are trying to make any extra changes, what you will do? You will try to create that rule in that branch again, and you'll just forget. Again, I'll forget to merge it again. So latest changes will not be there. So after we merging, we have to update with that team, or else we can delete that branch also. If I can delete, you cannot save as into that. If you wanted to proceed any further, you let us know. So that should be the case. Fine. So one particular rule got completely merged here. So if we refresh, what are we seeing? 8th one also got added. So we can see branch rule sets created, and those are getting merged here. Fine. Now let me close this one, and let me close this August release also. Now second developer, that is like his September changes. These changes are also done from his end. He has tested everything perfect. Now what he has to do? So branches cannot be directly moved into the next environment. We are supposed to merge this again to the regular version. So let us open this branch. So that got deleted automatically, August. Now, if I click on this one, I should be seeing September list changes what he has made. Now I have to merge this also to our existing path, right? So click on merge, proceed. What you have to do? You have to click on merge button. So are you having merge button enabled? Earlier, after I clicked on that, I have selected this one and clicked on merge. That's it. But now we are not getting merge option. Why? Anyone? Small thing. I think I already told you previous class. What is happening? Why it is hesitating to merge here? Anyone online? Or I'll show that there is something called one conflict. So I'll show this. Because of this, it is stopping. What is this? What is this?
The rule has
So you can say
already
something like
updated.
rule got updated. What is that updation meaning? So what is happening here? So maybe this is our, so this is our 010102 version, what we are considering like regular one. This is the main one. So from here, developer 1 has taken for August release. Parallelly, developer 2 has taken for September release. Now he has added his own changes. And we are trying to push this back here. Okay. So meaning this original file has got some extra changes now. So these changes are there. What you are trying to do? You are trying to take the old copy and you are including your own changes, and here you are trying to add it onto the old version. Old version has no changes. This old version I'm talking about. So original one has got 7 terms and conditions, and here you have added 8. Okay, meaning 7 after that 8. On top of the original one, you are adding your changes, and here on top of original one, maybe you are adding these changes. So once you added the changes here, you are pushing it back again. You have merged it, meaning you will be having 7 and 8 also, the latest one. And now, once you are trying to merge this one into this existing rule, so this has been taken on the old version. Now, if you're trying to push it same as it is, your rule will be having 7, 9, and 10. You are taking the old copy and adding your changes and pushing it back, meaning how can we expect other changes coming into picture? So changes will be lost. So that is the error it is showing up. There is one conflict. So the rule in the target version has already been updated. You have taken one old copy and it has already been updated. How can you update back on the original one? So you are supposed to resolve this manually. What is this technically called? Code retrofitting. I cannot click on merge also. Suppose if I click on this one, if I mark it as resolved, if I click on submit, I'm manually saying like everything is resolved. If I submit and if now I can see merge option enabled. So if I just click on this, merge option will be enabled now. So what does this mean? I am letting PRPC know that there are no conflicts between our two developers. Code retrofit is done. So his changes are also included here. This is what I am letting PRPC know. But did we include his changes here manually? No. So if we get this kind of conflicts, PRPC can easily identify. So if we get these kind of conflicts, you are supposed to sit with the other developer. You have to go for this main rule and check for the history. So if you click on history, then you can see who has saved this, who has created into merge. Sorry, you have created into branch, who has merged it. So you can just check for his operator ID. Okay, and you will be contacting that person. You will say like, I have taken the old copy and I am trying to add my changes. Can you please let me know your changes? We can include everything here, or else I will let you know my changes. Please add from your end. So these kind of manual retrofitting should happen. So manual code retrofitting is what we call. So once his changes are also done, meaning we have to include his changes also. What is his change? 8th one he has added. What is this person's change? 3rd and 4th should not be there. Now, if he is sitting with this particular developer and doing code retrofit, and now if he is saving, both the changes are there, right? 8th one got added, 3rd and 4th got removed. Now he has to, you got that error also gone, yellow color error you have seen. So let me check in. Now you can straight away merge. So if you merge, then you can mark that checkbox resolved. PRPC will not understand. So you have to merge it. So still you'll get this warning because you are trying to make your own changes. He doesn't understand whether you're sitting with other developer or not, right? You have to mark this one and submit, and then if you click on merge, then this original copy will be saved into our respective rule set. So in this whole discussion, what are we understanding? Even if you are going with branches, or even if you are going with separate rule sets, code retrofitting is 100% important. Because of this parallel processing, code retrofitting is mandatory. Okay, so code retrofitting is also very big headache for us. So I have to sit with that particular developer. Maybe 1 month back he has included his changes. I have to just ask with him what are all the changes you have done, where did you make these changes, what is the impact because of this. So code retrofitting is also uh, some kind of struggle only, but we cannot avoid it. We are supposed to sit with that person and we have to. So in this way we are understanding how to work with branch rule sets. Once the branches are done, merging is done, we can straight away delete it, because you will never merge branches in next environment. I am having version number 3. I can deploy this version number 3 into testing team. Suppose testing team identifying some defects, then I have to fix it, right? So meaning version number 4 has to be created. Version 3 will be locked, version 4. So in that case, instead of I creating a version directly, I'll ask a developer to create his own branch. I can ask him, you can create. So you can create your own branch, and then once your changes are done, if you let us know, we will be including this branch changes into the version. So version number 4 we have to create it now. 3 is already logged. Version number 4 we have to create, and we have to deploy this again for the testing team. So branch rules will never be deployed in the next environments, testing or UAT or these kind of things. Only versions, rule set with its versions. So branches are completely for our development only. Suppose if we join one company today, if your client is hesitating to implement some kind of requirement, I think I told you something related to Google Maps, let us consider. So he's just wondering whether that can be implemented or not. So as a manager or someone from your team, they'll be saying like, I'll try to do this as an POC, this kind of a work apart from a regular development. So for that, he has to create some rules, right? He has to create some rules and he has to test. Where he has to create, suppose I'm having till version number 2 now, where he will be creating. So will he be checking out and using version number 2? If that is the case, regular development will be disturbed, right? If he is creating version number 3 and if he is working there, if regular developers, if they are trying to run the case, so third version will be picked up. So that is also not recommended. And suppose if he is trying to do the things, and if he wanted to roll back the changes, suppose I'm having section number 1, it is showing with first name, last name and other things. And now my manager or my client, he wants to implement something like Google Maps in the section number 1. So in that case, if I'm taking the initiative and if I'm doing some POC, and if I simply click on checkout on the existing version, checkout and making my changes, save and checking for the output, I can see the output, and that will be in my private edit only unless I check in. Listen carefully. Unless I check in, that will be in my private edit only. Now, if my manager is somewhere in my client location, maybe US, and I'll say him like, changes are done, it is working fine for me, can you once test from your end so that we can demo this for the client. If this is the thing happening, my manager, if he wants to see my changes, I have to check in, right? Else he cannot see. I have to check in, meaning rules will be deleted from my operator rule set and it will be merged into version number 2 or 3, wherever. So he can see his changes. So he is also happy with the things what we are doing currently happening. So he'll be trying to demo for the customer. If client is saying like this is not comfortable, let's not include it right away. So there should be some APIs to be integrated. Let's stop it for now. We shall see it in the next release or something. If that is the recommendation, what I have to do? My manager will say the same to me. So I have to roll back all my changes. Roll back meaning I have to again check out my section. I have to delete that. And in that process, I have created maybe 100 rules, 10 properties, paragraph rules, all this. I have to identify each and every rule and I have to delete everything, right? If in this process, if I forget to delete any rule, that rule will be available in that particular version and that will be deployed in the next environment, and that might be causing any problem also. So that is the reason all the time, if you are trying to go for these kind of POCs or this kind of experimental related requirements, you are supposed to create your own branch and you have to. If client or someone is okay with that, just merge the branch. That's it. Just 1 minute process. If client is not happy, delete the branch. Straight away delete the branch. All the rules what are there, you can simply delete. So positive scenario happy for us and negative also happy. So branches are some kind of parallel development where we can go for easy merging or easy rollbacking. So that is the concept. So in the real time, your man